Hello everyone and welcome back to Apprentice League Season 15. It is the final race of this season and it is almost already been settled before we've even got to the red lights. Gerald Joling has won 3 out of 4 races in AL because of last week he got tangled up with Ludwig at the end. Then in JL he has already won the championship, so he could become a driver to get onto a somewhat rare list of becoming AL and JL champion in your basically first full season as a somewhat rookie. I know he did race a little bit before, but sort of returning. I don't know how that works. I'm going to stop yapping. It is qualifying. We are here in Munich, Germany, the second German track, as Kamaki goes pole with a .43. Oh wow, that is an incredible time from Kamaki, who I believe is a somewhat new driver. I think they raced last week. This definitely isn't their debut race. Kamaki with a .43. That is an incredible time from them. Will anyone else be able to improve? Gerald Joling down in P9. Here's your JL, the league above this championship winner. Will anyone else improve? Barrett goes up to .47. Gerald Joling improves to a .58. That takes him up into P3 currently. Punk is here on debut, joined the server with a questionable bio, but they're back now. And yeah, that is actually something also to mention. We've got 17 people in an AL lobby. That is mad. This is the biggest attendance that at least I've seen will commentate in AL in probably the whole time, which is kind of insane to see on a season finale as well. Usually the attendance whittles down, but it is the last lap of qualifying. Who's going to take pole? It's going to be Gerald Joling with a .38. Oh my god. Why are AL drivers suddenly as fast as UL drivers? I'm quite scared now for later. Anywho, that is a mad lap from Gerald Joling, and he has just absolutely pounced on that to become the championship winner. Basically, all he needs to do is score a point or a couple points above Ludwig. What would need to happen for Ludwig to win? Gerald Joling would need to retire. He would need to win, get fastest lap probably. Gerald Joling is pretty much already confirmed to be your championship leader and has gotten pole, so he's gotten 1 extra point from qualifying so far. Kamaki in P2, Barrett P3, Ludwig in P4, Ricky Boy in P5, Punk P6, Toaster in P7, BK in P8, Lewis Hamilton 95th, which is Petal down in P9, Giovanni in P10. Then out of the bottom 10, which is mad, usually we've got like 11th and 12th, but there's 17 people. We've got Axis in P11, Mr. Crunk, Matthew Gill, Sunday Driver, Patiotis, and then the double Red Bull team in 16th and 17th, rounding out the grid for the last race of Season 15. Alright then, everyone, for the last time this season, we are on the grid, ready to go racing, and likely to the rest of the season, Gerald Joling is on pole. No more delay, we are on our way for the last race this season. Gerald Joling leads from Kamaki, who's decided to start on the medium tyre. That is very different to the rest of the grid. Top 3 away securely with a little bit of a gap to Ludwig already. However, that's not going to last long at the start. Ricky Boy up into P5, starting to form a gap to Toaster down in P6. Petal and Giovanni off the track there. Out of turn 5, Toaster through the chicane, trying to catch up to the slip back of Ricky Boy, BK making a mistake, Toaster making a mistake, and Punk just there as well. Down at the back, there's a big scrap. Gilprad going off the track on the straight by himself. That is peak racing here in Apprentice League. Sunday Driver has been demoted down to the back of the grid. Bluebell Boy has made up a substantial amount of places at the start of this race. He is up in P12. He is returning. Spoke too soon. Up at the top, we have got Ludwig, Ricky Boy, Barrett, Gerald Joling, and Kamaki all fighting out as Kamaki takes the lead of the race. He is a somewhat new driver. He's on the mediums. He is not letting anyone get ahead of him. Gerald Joling pushed off into the grass by Ricky Boy there. That was not a good move from the Dutchman, and he sent the other Dutchman off the track. It is his race to win, What am I trying to say? He does not need to win this race, does Gerald Joling. However, he's still up in P5. He would still win the championship from here, 100%. Toaster also not wanting the slip of the JL World Drivers' Champion car either. They've got a big gap to catch. However, all these drivers are fighting mainly because of these two, Kamaki and Barrett. They are not letting each other get any room to breathe. No slipstream being done here, and Kamaki down the inside of Ricky Boy with a very aggressive move. However, keeps both of them on the track, and Toaster, Gerald Joling, Punk and Petal, the top 8, are slowly catching. The top 7 are slowly catching up. What just happened? I think Toaster maybe killed Petal and he's slowed down, but he's not wanting to slow down that much. Here we see some peak JL antics. Punk not wanting to slipstream Gerald Joling. This is his debut race up in P6. He will not know who Gerald Joling is. On his screen, that is just another car to pass. Ricky Boy, Kamaki fighting Kamaki on the mediums. Does he care? No, he does not. He will go for moves. He wants to be in front of the Dutch Ricky Boy. Barrett and Ludwig lead the way in 1 and 2. Ludwig won the last race, maybe controversially. However, the win stuck, and he kept the win with no reports coming in about the move that he made on the final corner of the final lap. Ricky Boy and Kamaki still trying to catch up to the top 2. Then it's Punk and Gerald Joling, and then we've got a train of God knows what's happening. Giovanni pushed off the track. BK and Toaster going too wide for P6. Mr. Crunk has thrown in the towel on lap 5 out of 18. Giovanni down the inside. Petal down the inside of BK. Oh my god. BK is dead. We're swerving all over the track. Obviously not happy with this move, but who would be? Axis, Toaster, Petal all off the track there. Giovanni going slowly round that 180 degree corner. Very slow through that whole section. Just no one wanting to concede, even though the other driver might be faster. We've got Barrett pitting on lap 5, going for early undercut. Definitely on the 2-stop, sorry, not 3-stop. And oh my god, look at this pack, man. We have got 12th all the way up to P5, all in this pack, and no one wants to concede. I'm going to zoom out a little bit here just so we can see all of the chaos unfolding, because all of these drivers, no one wants to concede position. Everyone wants to be in front. No one wants to slipstream. No one cares about the tires people are on. This is peak Apprentice League racing. This is incredible stuff, and it is Toaster that leads the way with a bit of a gap. Got through all that chaos. Will he pit now? Go for an undercut? Yep. Giovanni follows. Petal, BK, Barrett, Ludwig and Axis all stay out. Axis on the medium. Ricky Boy comes out and now into this pack as well. That is going to be hell for him to try and navigate his way through. Mr. Crunk making his feelings known in the chat. It very unfortunate from him. This is not a track you want to be a high pinger on. Unfortunately, Ricky Boy getting through on Axis on the better tyres. Now he's got to try and navigate these 3, which is about impossible, but he's gotten through Axis, he's gotten through BK. Petal makes a mistake. Now he's just got Ludwig left to go, who is also pit. So that was a great start to his stint for Mr. Ricky Boy, because Ludwig has also pit. He is now in the race for P3 as he gets pushed onto the grass by Ludwig's ping. However, he's still in the range of that slip, because look, Axis going for the 1-stop strategy. Gerald Joling just behind this pack, so maybe Axis going on the 1-stop could work for him. Ludwig, Barrett and Ricky Boy are in the fight for P1. Ricky Boy is in the fight for the win here. If these two drivers keep fighting, Ricky Boy will get back into the slip. Kamaki is a new driver, so he will pit next lap. It looked like he was trying to go into the pits there. He leads the way on debut. Not debut. Did he race last week? I think he did. I don't know. I don't care either. But Barrett leads the way from these two fighting drivers currently. Why are they fighting? I don't know. They've got the championship leader catching up to them, as well as Punk and Axis just stealing their slipstream for as long as he can, as Gerald Joling gets pushed off the track by Punk. That's the second time it's happened in this race to poor Mr. Joling. His championship lead is still very safe, but even still, it's not the way he would want to end the season. Down in P7, getting absolutely pushed off the track in the starting stages of the race by Mr. Ricky Boy, and then there by Punk, the new driver. Will he defend from Gerald Joling? No, he doesn't. He lets him pass somewhat cleanly. Kamaki comes out of the pits on mediums. That was his last stop in P4. So he will be in provisional lead here on the 1-stop. But All these drivers need to pit, but they'll pit onto better tyres. Do they all need to? Yeah, they were all on 2 stops. So maybe the 1 stop for Kamaki could do wonders. Gerald Joling will also need to pit again. No, he won't, will he? Oh, I don't know. I'm just going to wait and see. Ricky Boy with a big mistake. Lost the slipstream massively from Ludwig and Barrett, leading the way of the race by 2 seconds before the race. Manbergo, ESM team owner, which Gerald Joling drives for in the league above this, told me that Gerald Joling has done more practice than usual. Usually he's 5 seconds ahead by this stage. Right now he's in the fight for P5 only. End of the season, I guess the pressure is somewhat off. However, this is still not the way you want to see the championship winner win their championship. Kamaki losing 2 positions there. Ricky Boy almost pushing him off the track. Mathigo telling someone to slipstream. Who is it? Axis. He just wants his Axis' slipstream, I guess, but he's not going to slow down for you, Mathigo. Down at the back, Patiotis, Galeprad and Sunday Driver fighting for the wonders of P13. Bluebell Boy on a nice Sunday drive, not Sunday driver, Sunday drive down in P16, just enjoying himself on this very nice looking track, I must say. It is a very nice track to look at, especially when you're driving as well. There's some tracks that are so boring, but this one is actually quite cool. And then Mr. Crunk, obviously, retiring. Up at the top, Backers went from the last bit. Oh, there we go. Barrett, P1 pits now, his final pit stop. Where will he come out in comparison to Kamaki then? Because Kamaki, why is Ricky Boy staying out? Why can't I find him as well? Why is Ricky Boy staying out? This is not the strategy. I told you, Ricky Boy. Okay. Well, that's ruined Ricky's race then, as well as Gerald Joling. They will get undercutted by the drivers who have just pit, including Barrett and Ludwig. Oh my lord. What is going on? What are they doing? Like, it's just stupid, isn't it? What is going on between the 2 Dutch drivers? Ricky Boy absolutely forcing him off the track. Gerald Joling quite rightly comes back at him and gets the revenge. Kamaki on the 1-stop strategy, on the worst medium tyres, is almost 4 seconds ahead of everyone. Barrett is the only person in sight on the soft tyres. We will watch this gap decrease over the next 5 laps. Ludwig just behind. The top 3 are pretty much settled. Gerald Joling, Punk, BK, Giovanni, Ricky Boy, Toaster and Lewis Hamilton 10th all the way up to P4, all still in a fight for the last 5 laps here. Gerald Joling leads, and it's a sandwich between him and Peto. I think Axis is out of this. However, we have seen drivers fight enough where people have been able to get back like 10-second gaps. Ricky Boy down the inside of Peto, just about with that ping. Ricky Boy up in P3 at one point in this race, now down in P8, fighting with BK, Giovanni. Are we really going 3 wide into turn 1? We're going 3 wide into turn 1, and as you can imagine, everyone dies. Shock. Oh my. I don't even know what to say. Listen. Oh my god. This is peak Apprentice League. The 2 Ferraris lag rocketing each other off the planet, and Axis just a passenger in that whole sequence. So now the battle has went just now between these 3 drivers, and it is the battle for P6 unless Toaster can catch up to Punk and Joling, who seems to be settled now in P4. This would very, very much be enough for him to comfortably still win the championship. However, he would want a podium 100% in his final race. Up at the top, what is the gap looking at? It is looking very similar to what it was before. Kamaki making a couple mistakes. However, it looks like Barrett is not driving well enough. He's driving very well, don't get me wrong, but is not driving exceptionally enough to catch up. I mean, he's still doing like really, really good lap times on those soft tyres, just not quite enough. It looks for now to be in the fight for the win. His tyres are better about now, but there's a very short window that he will actually have an advantage over the leading driver, Kamaki. Gerald Joling in P4. Punk has lost the slip of the championship leader down in P5. It's now a fight for P5 between these 3 drivers. BK has lost the slip. Peto has lost the slip. Axis and Giovanni definitely have lost the slip as well. Down at the back, what is going on? Not a lot. Sunday Driver and Mathigo on a fight for P12. Where's Galeprad? Okay, Galeprad down in P15 fighting with Patiotis for P40. Lag Rocket. Bluebell Boy in P16. Has he been lapped yet? No, he's not. Oh, Kamaki has been caught up. Oh, I apologise, ladies and gentlemen. Barrett has caught up within a second on the final lap. However, it is the final lap. So will it be enough for Barrett? Two new-ish drivers to catch. Fighting for the win here. It is not the usual suspect. So Gerald Joling winning first 3 races. Kamaki makes a mistake. It is going to be a fight to the line here. Barrett on the soft tyres. Kamaki on the mediums. Who will take the win here in the season finale? It will be Barrett by 1,000th of a second, catching 3 seconds in those final laps. Kamaki in P2, Ludwig in P3, Gerald Joling across the line to win Apprentice League season 15. However, he is not happy with that result, but he is your championship winner. Ricky Boy gets P5, Punk in P6 on debut, Toaster in P7, BK in P8, Peto in P9, Axis P10, Giovanni in P11, Sunday Driver gets P12, Mathigo in P13, Gilprad P14, Bluebell Boy fighting with Patiosis to the end, but because people keep leaving even though they were told not to, we will not get to see the end of that fight. Patiosis takes a P15, Bluebell Boy in P16, and Mr. Crunk in P17. That is a race season finale won by 1,000th of a second, neither of which will take home the championship. That will go into the hands of the Dutchman Gerald Joling, who has had a dominant season in JL and AL. We will see what he can do later on today in Journeyman League, Challenger League, and maybe even Ultimate League as well if he ends up racing. But that is the end to season 15. Gerald Joling is your first ever Apprentice League championship winner on FES4. So very big congratulations to him. Maybe just not the way he would want to end his season. Ludwig also a very good season coming in out of no previous racing experience at any of the leagues. Barrett and Kamaki showing they are very, very big championship contenders for next season at least. And Ricky Boy Punk on debut as well, having a very good race. Ricky Boy, another normal season for him, not really, challenging up at the top, but also in consistently top 8, decent from him. Toaster having a very good debut season as well, fell off a little bit towards the end, getting quite unlucky with some incidents. Peto as well, just can't do anything with his ping. BK in P9, Axis in P10, another average season for him. Giovanni in P11, Sunday Driver, same applies for him. Mathigo coming in, was this his debut season? No, it wasn't, he raced last season. Gilprad, not bad. Patiotis also in the lower points of Apprentice League. However, it's still good seasons from them, and Bluebell Boy with a shock appearance this season. So for season 15 Apprentice League, that has been all. We will see you later on in Journeyman League, but for the final time in season 15, we will see you all later for season 16. Adios.